What's up, everybody? Hope you all had a good weekend. It is Monday. It is time once again for After the Bell. I am Jeff Meacham. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed yesterday's Dad's Post Money to Make wrap-up with Drunk Jeff and Sailor JJ. Language, my goodness. I was trying to be a good boy, but you know what? Whatever. It is what it is. First of all, I want to give a big shout-out, as I like to do, to the Battleground Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion of Puerto Rico Dynamite with the belt on vacation. July 28th at the Legion Hall in Los Alamitos, 32524 Easter Street. Matches announced. Go to battlerageson.com for more on BPW. Damn it, Steph, I had to get rhythm going. Get out of here when I miss it. Alright, there's the belt plug as always. Yesterday on the show, I got so loaded on the mysterious contents of the flask, I forgot to plug the flask. Courtesy of Long Beach Clothing Company, which you can pick up for, I believe it was $15.99 at Long Beach Clothing right now, 4218 North Atlantic Avenue here in Long Beach. Check that out. Alright, enough of the gratuitous plugs. You didn't come here for that, although I like to do it anyway, just because I can. And it is time for your questions. And first we go to Twitter, after we do guerrilla warfare through the sand here. I have a stat boy in front of me. Okay. Yikes. Alright, now, we didn't ask you guys about the Twitter questions with the hashtag shenanigans prior to, you know, a lot of these going up, so I'm going to forgive you this week, but starting next week's show, if you tweet me a question and there is no hashtag shenanigans attached to it, I'm not going to ask it. It's as simple as that. I will save this one for when JJ returns. Let's see. Rexo1991 on Twitter. Hey Jeff, love the show. If Cena is the winner of Money in the Bank, which he was, what would you do? Alright, well, I didn't say this yesterday on the show because I knew this question was here. I wanted to save it for today's show. Here's how I would book this, and this is the way I think they should do it, and I hope they do. When The Rock comes back, The Rock has already stated he is going to be WWE Champion again before this year is over. He wants to be WWE Champion again. I say put the belt on The Rock, and then have Cena cash in on The Rock when The Rock is vulnerable. Every time Money in the Bank has been cashed in, the champion's been down and out, and ripe for the picking, if you will. I say do it that way. Have The Rock be down and out after a brutal title defense against, say, Brock Lesnar or somebody else that's going to just pick Dwayne apart, and then have John come strolling down with that briefcase, be like, looky what I got. That's the heel turn. Take The Rock out, the beloved people's champion, the great one, and have John just own his punk bitch. Alright, that's how I do it. Let's see what we got here. At Tony Filoni, which 90s wrestler would you like to see come back for a squash match on the 1000th Raw? There's another question on here about that. Let me find it, because it's very similar. Where did it go? Wait for it. Wait for it. It's not here. I lied. I've been caught being a liar on my own show. I don't like that. That is not nice. Oh, there it is. At Matt Godfrey. Which legend would you like to see a match with Heath Slater on Raw? So that's basically how that went. You know, I'd like to see come back from the 90s to face Heath Slater before the 90th, before the 1000th Raw. I would like to see. Don't fault me for this, because a lot of people don't like him for some reason. I'd like to see X-Pac. 90s wrestler, the 1-2-3 Kid, Sean Waltman, X-Pac, Six-Pac, whatever you want to call him. Sean Waltman, friend of the family, yes. I like to see Sean Waltman come in and just kick the crap out of Heath Slater tonight on Raw, or on next week on the 1000th Raw, however you want to do it. Because you know Sean is like a consultant. He's, you know, working with the company off and on. I say do it that way. Let's see. Shout out. Mr. Benzie. At Mr. Benzie. Thoughts on TNA in recent weeks? Seems as if they're doing logical storylines that make sense with this decent in-ring work. I would have to agree 100%. They are doing very, very well. You've got we mentioned this on the show recently with JJ. I talked about Dave Lagana and Bruce Pritchard, and I forget the third guy's name. I'm sorry about that third man, but they're doing a tremendous job writing TNA. I found at times they're doing better than WWE. You know, a lot of it. I think that you're doing very, very well. And TNA has been, in my opinion, leaps and bounds better than WWE's programming, even with this great storyline they've got with AJ and Punk and Bryan. The problem with that storyline is you've got AJ being the focus of the WWE Championship storyline instead of CM Punk and Bryan Danielson. There's a problem there. The only flaw I have with TNA right now is that horrendous AJ Styles, Daniels, Kazarian, Dixie Carter, Claire, or whatever her name is, storyline. That's ridiculous.
That's her name, Claire.
Well, no, Claire. They gave her a last name on Thursday. Claire Baxter or something, whatever they call her. So it's horrendous, the whole thing. But anyway, other than that, TNA is doing much, much better than WWE in my humble opinion. And again, just my opinion. At Proctor Sean, our buddy Sean Proctor, who contributes almost every week, has a wrestler or famous person ever retweeted or tweeted you, and if so, who? Yes, sir.
Natalia did for me.
Natalia did for you with the whole dog gimmick. I remember that.
No, with the bikinis.
Oh, well, whatever it was.
She was.
Oh, that's true. You're trying to tweet pictures of her, of Diesel to her, and she wasn't responding to that.
No,
the bikini thing
she wanted to model her bikinis, and we said pick this top with this bottom, and she sent back a thank you.
Tops and bottoms. Woohoo!
And then I've gotten answers from HBK on his. I asked. I'm sorry for interrupting your show again.
That's okay, dude. Yeah. We have yours every week.
This is Stat Boy. I said when behind. That was me crawling on the ground so I wouldn't ruin the shot.
Real warfare, baby.
Yeah, really. I send a lot of questions to HBK at Shawn Michaels.
It's because Sean's your favorite wrestler.
Yes,
so.
And I asked him, is the 30-06 the best rifle in the world? And he said yes. And I've also got a response back from JR at JR's Barbecue about what the difference between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State is. I didn't get the answer I wanted, but I still got an answer nonetheless.
Now, I've heard from wrestlers that you guys, should know, like the NW Hollywood guys, the Battleground guys, things like that. The man actually walking down the aisle that we're watching the replay of yesterday's Money in the Bank pay-per-view, Bryan Danielson has tweeted me back a couple times. Because we've known each other since the PWG days. I've heard back from Mick Foley via direct message, if you can believe that, because I asked him about book signings. I actually asked, because we met him at Frankenstein's out here earlier this year, whatever it was, and I got 2 of his 4 memoirs signed. I asked him if I could mail him the other 2, and he actually DM'd me and said the post office doesn't want me to. They frown on that after what happened with Foley is Good. I guess Foley is Good got him a lot of mail, and they can't do that anymore. Famous people, I've had Will Wheaton from Star Trek has tweeted me back, and I've added him and called him names on the show, and he still tweets me back because I'm a fan. I met Will once at a convention. It didn't go very well. Maybe he was having a bad day. I don't know. And I feel bad for calling him a douche on the air, but I've talked to him on Twitter a couple times. He's a cool guy, it seems like to me. He's a big fan of the Kings, which my boys. So any Kings fans, a friend of mine. Yes.
And I've also got Gary Bryan of KRF 101.
Gary's cool people.
Yeah.
I've actually met Gary in person. He's
really nice.
I've met Shotgun a couple times.
Yeah, well, Shotgun and I are pretty much good friends. Shotgun knows me as the LB Kid. He doesn't know me as Stat Boy yet.
Okay, all right.
But every time I see him, it's hello, Shotgun. He goes, hey, that's the LB Kid. I know you.
Yeah.
And basically the story with the Gary Bryan thing was that Maria Menounos was co-hosting, and they were doing one of their morning games, and I said, at Gary Bryan's show at Maria Menounos, that was pretty close. Next thing you know, I get a retweet, so I followed him, and the next day he followed me, and I sent him something. I said, I'm very proud and humbled to know that Gary Bryan follows me, and he retweeted that. So, that's how
Gary Bryan in the morning.
KRF 101. You'll get a royalty check on that. Okay, Stat Boy out for now.
That's okay. Please, dude.
You come on my show, I come on yours.
That's okay. I have you watching my clock anyway, so it's all good.
Go ahead, keep going.
At Jonathan V, Best guess or guesses on who is behind the Aces and Eights on TNA.
The dead man's hand.
I'm definitely going to give JJ a massive I'm glad you're in the room for this one, sir. JJ has just walked back in. They asked me who I think is behind the Aces and Eights, and you made a very good point, and I'm going to blatantly steal it, as you did with my comedy yesterday. I gotta go with Garrett Bischoff. I don't know why when JJ said that sounds like that's the way it's going to be, but I really believe that Garrett Bischoff is going to be somehow involved, because we all know that Bischoff blood, that Bischoff mind has the tendency for deviousness. And I don't think that was totally exorcised from Garrett before Eric left, so I really think that we're going to see a darker side of Garrett Bischoff with his Aces and Eights thing. And again, we could be way off base here at Constantine Studios. It's really hard to say. I follow them on Twitter, so we'll see what they say. They've got Hulk and they've got Sting already, so we really got to see, what's going to happen. All right, thank you to all of you on Twitter. Again, next week, #shenanigans. I mentioned earlier, I'm telling you, there were a couple that weren't #shenanigans, but they sent it in before we made the announcement on Twitter, so I let them slide this week. All right, on to the Facebook fan page, facebook.com/Jeff Meacham fan page. Hope you all have liked and sent stuff into there. From Wayne Martinsky, I was just watching the King of the Ring 2000 and wondered what your favorite tournament was. Mine personally was 2000. It had the best lineup of stars and some really good matches. Do you think WWE should bring it back as a pay-per-view? And if they did, who would you see winning it? In past years, I've said yes. They should bring back the King of the Ring. It should be in the summertime. But to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know if that's necessarily the case anymore, because you've got the Royal Rumble winner that gets the WrestleMania title shot. You get the Money in the Bank winner that gets a year long to cash in. The only way, the King of the Ring would work is if you had the King of the Ring winner get the SummerSlam title shot like Brock did. That could work. But again, there's so many guaranteed title shots, this and everything like that over the course of a year, with the King of the Ring really fare well. I'd like to see it back. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment box. Do you want to see the King of the Ring back? Do you want to see the WWE do the King of the Ring as a pay-per-view, or do you want to see him do it every other year like they've been doing on Raw? Because if they're doing it every other year, it's going to be in the next couple months, because last time was 2010 with Sheamus. So, what do you guys think out there? Ken Carrick, I've got a question about Owen Hart. Do you think he is overrated? Don't get me wrong, he was a great wrestler, but he was never going to be the top guy in WWE. He was a top mid-card guy at the best. This is going to get me in some serious shit. And honestly, this is going to cause me trouble, because a lot of people are not going to like my answer. I agree with you, Ken. I really do. Owen was one of the best. Okay? But he was never, ever designed to be above Brett. Owen was always the guy that was going to chase Brett the hardest. Owen was always going to be the guy that always be almost there and almost catch his brother. Owen was always going to be Brett's tag team partner at first, and then be the one to feud with him. Owen was never put in that main event slot to win. I don't think. He won the match at WrestleMania 10. He got that big win. He had a great run with Brett over 3 years, and then they teamed him back up in the New Hart Foundation. And even when Brett got screwed and left the WWF in 1997, I don't think Owen was ever going to be champion after that. I think Owen was one of the top tag team wrestlers of all time, and definitely one of the best Intercontinental champions of his time. Was he ever going to be the world champion? Probably not. Does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame still? Yes, he does. And if it was not for his widow, he would be. We have a group on Facebook, Owen Hart for 2013 now, WWE Hall of Fame. Please, Martha, let it happen. All right. Let's see. From Tyler Trieg on the Facebook fan page. What is your view on the situation with Kenny King, TNA, and Ring of Honor? I was so happy to see the All Night Express finally win the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship, and he goes and fucks it up. I was very disappointed. #ATB rules. Well, different hashtag, but we're on Facebook, so it's okay. We talked about this very brief. I don't know if it was on Dad's or on ATB. I talked about the Kenny King situation. I don't remember now. But I was very surprised, and I was even more surprised when I went to Ring of Honor's website and saw the statement from them saying that it was legit. I was amazed. Now we have Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship Tournament on going underway pretty soon, and it's very surprising. But you know what? It happened all the time in the Monday Night Wars. You know, there was always, you know, somebody leaving WCW going to the WWF and vice versa. You know, back when WCW was still actually cooking. So it's not surprising that TNA had, you know, has picked off a guy from Ring of Honor, one of the top guys in Ring of Honor. In fact, their top tag team wrestler is now a member of the TNA X division. So it surprised me, but not completely. You know what I'm saying? It was very interesting to see it happen so blatantly, I guess is the best way I can put it. Alright, these are from YouTube. Metallica for Life 1977. If you could take classic managers, Heenan, Dillon, etc., with today's talent, what combos would you make? Can you imagine Bobby Heenan with Dolph Ziggler? I guess you're going off the perfection gimmick with Bobby the Brain Heenan. That would be a great combination. Dolph Ziggler with Bobby the Brain Heenan. It'd be kind of leave Vicky out in the dust, but if you brought in classic managers from back in the day, I could definitely see, you know, a situation where, oh heck, I think of it. J.J. Dillon would be good with, like, you know, oh jeez, there's just so many different combinations that they're all just kind of bouncing all over the place in my head. I'd personally like to see Heenan with Dolph Ziggler. That'd be great. I'd like to see, you know, a Sensational Sherry come back and manage, you know, like maybe Damian Sandow, since he looks like the Macho Man so much with the whole purple, the multicolored trunks and the Macho Man beard. I honestly, truth be told, the whole manager situation, people ask me this all the time about managers, and I think the era of the great manager is simply a thing of the past, and honestly, the people that need managers in WWE right now already have them. You've got the primetime players who have AW, you've got Epico and Primo who have Rosa, she's the valet for them, you've got, you know, everybody's got their set thing already. You've got Dolph and Vicky, although I don't think Dolph needs Vicky anymore. I don't think Dolph needs anybody anymore. Dolph's got the briefcase, so, you know, he's got his thing set, you know. So, what do you guys think? I'm drawing blanks over here, to be perfectly honest with you. What do you guys think? What classic manager would you put with a current WWE or TNA star? Let me know. Pro Bullseye. If you had to push 5 mid-carders in WWE, who would it be? Dolph, Cody, Drew McIntyre, although he's not even a mid, he's a freaking lower carder at this point, which sucks balls. Yeah, Kofi, if they get the belts off him and turn him heel. And I'll go with... Nah, he's already getting a push. Britain's already getting a push. And he's been world champion. I'll get back to that. WWE anime fans, if you could create a stable based on intelligence, who would it be and what would you call that stable? Oh, jeez. We'll do that one on DASP. So many questions. The Max Steeler Fan 21. What is a match that is generally rated 4 or 5 star by wrestling fans that you think is overrated? Okay. It's not a 4 or 5 star rated match by fans, but it is ridiculously over talked about to this day still. Hell in a Cell, Mankind the Undertaker. I will grant the huge spots. I will grant the fact that it was an amazing testament to the will and the strength of Mick Foley and the Undertaker with a broken foot also to get through that in as close to one piece as they both did. Okay, but it was not the greatest thing since sliced bread. It just wasn't. It was a throw, a fall, thumbtacks, choke slam, tombstone, with a bunch of carnage in between. It wasn't the greatest thing of all time, and people give it way too much credit. You know, Punk, Cena last year, 5 stars. Michaels, Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, 5 stars. You know, Punk, Bryan, Sunday Night was amazing. That kind of stuff is good. Mr. Tommy Jr. 1989. My thoughts on the man that gravity forgot, Pac, signing with the WWE. I hope it works out. From what I'm hearing, they're doing a Cruiserweight exclusive show. Put that man on that show and give him the championship right now. Make him the Cruiserweight champion. While I'm at it, congrats to Sarah Del Rey also on going with the women's division and hopefully training the women's division and getting them to wrestle again and being a women's, not a divas division. Think of what a girl like Sarah Del Rey could do with these ladies. My goodness, it'll be amazing. And good for Pac, man. Pac's a really nice guy. He always was in PWG, former PWG Tag Team Champion. Guy's cool, dude. Very cool, dude. J922, who do you think is more off the deep end and crazy? Mickie James when she was stalking Trish, or AJ now? AJ now. You know why? Because Mickey's was all forethought, all psychological. It was meant to mess with Trish. AJ and this thing with Bryan and Punk, I think AJ in storyline has truly lost her frickin' marbles. She's been driven over the edge of insanity because of being love-struck. And hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Women, when they get messed with in the heart, do not fuck with them. They go off the deep end. They're on the other side of the cliff. They're on the next cliff ready to dive. Seriously. Loco. So, AJ's crazier. No question about it. Alright, this one's from Michael John Falsey on YouTube. Jeff, I've heard WWE doesn't get as much into their product because they haven't got the competition they once had in WCW, and that is why they've gotten lazy in writing. So here is my question. Why don't they get up off their lazy creative asses and start trying to compete with their own ratings? Like they once were in high fives or more, right? Now nowhere near that. Would it make sense for them to want to get back all those viewers, or are they happy with what they got? Oh, the problem with saying something like that, and Austin Aries touched on this on Impact. I'm going to put my phone down here, take a more swig from my Long Beach festival. I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm drinking strawberry Kool-Aid. Oh, it's not Kool-Aid. Strawberry Sunny D, because it's yummy. And I just wanted to put the flask on them. The problem with a statement like that is there's not as many people watching wrestling these days. It's not anything to do with the audience, not wanting to watch it. It's simply that the business is in a period where they're not drawing as many people because it's not the Attitude Era anymore. There's no real draw-in for the average TV viewer to turn on the WWE, to turn on TNA, to turn on Ring of Honor when their markets. There's no real grab like a Stone Cold Steve Austin or an NWO or a DX or, the Cruiserweights or anything like that. It's just wrestling is not in a point right now. They're getting back there. Austin Aries talked about this on Thursday night. We're on the verge of a boom period. You've got matches like Austin Aries and Bobby Roode from last week. You've got matches like CM Punk and Daniel Bryan from last night. Those type of matches that are happening. You've got a match a year ago, CM Punk, John Cena. Did you ever think you'd see John Cena rated in a 5-star match from the Wrestling Observer? No, you didn't. CM Punk draw that out of him. I'll give that credit where credit is due. I'm a John fan, but at the end of the day, CM Punk and John Cena together made a 5-star match for the first time in WWE in 15 years. Matches like that are what are getting people back into it. And yeah, are they doing 5s and 6s and, even high 4s? No, they're not. But they will. It'll happen. You just got to give it time. Is that time going to be right away? Of course it's not. This 1000th Raw, a week from tonight, should be very telling because people are going to be tuning in to see the people from the past. They may get a huge rating. They may not. If they don't get a huge rating, they're going to seriously question this judgment of making Raw 3 hours every single week. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens come Monday night next week at 8 o'clock. 5 o'clock for us. We don't get to see it at all. Lawson Ricky 12. Who's been your breakout star this year? Ricky, just for you, the breakout star of the year is Jade Hogan. You think about that for a minute there, buddy. Simply recommended on YouTube. Just wondering, who do you think will be a better champion, Dolph Ziggler or Cody Rhodes? I think Dolph would be a great champion now, but with patience and time, Cody will be a better future champion as he is better on the mic. I think they're both going to be great world champions down the line. Cody has that unfortunate situation where he got Death D's accent a little bit, so he's going to suffer a little bit from that. But he still has very much a gift of gab like Dusty had, like Goldust had. They both still do, to be honest with you. Dolph, I think, if given the right opportunity and showing that he can do it on his own, will not need the mouthpiece of Vicky Guerrero. He can talk just fine. I think they're both right there on par with one another. I think they'll both do just fine when they get that big strap. They'll do just fine. The WWE Addict. What do you think of Hornswoggle being revealed as the anonymous Raw general manager? I really don't care. It was a way to get out of a storyline at the end of the day, and they did it the way they could. So I'm really not tripping on it. It was what it was. They had to end it somehow. They brought the computer back. They brought the sound effect back, and they blew us out of the water with having the Leprechaun be the GM. It was a means to an end, and I'm glad it's over finally. Should have seen me on the couch here last week. I was crying like a baby for that damn computer being back. It was a horrid time in my life. Alright, Ian Israel on my Facebook inbox. We're back to that now. Are we seeing a shift in the type of pro wrestler we see on TV now? Where at one time we saw guys like Batista, now we have guys like Punk and Danielson and Austin Aries. Guys that aren't 6'4", 6'5", over 210, 235 pounds. It appears to be that way. I mean, last week on the Destination Next, you had Bobby Roode and Austin Aries, guys that aren't, the prototypical, big, bad, burly Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Batista-style wrestlers. You've got those guys' size. Last night on Money in the Bank, you had Bryan Danielson and CM Punk in the main event for the WWE, well, not the main event, but the main event WWE Championship match. How about that? You had guys like that. So there's definitely been a shift, and I hope it continues to do so. I like seeing guys of those caliber instead of these big, burly, Batista types who can't, do squat. It sucks. Kevin Ray Johnson. There's been a rumor going around that for WrestleMania 29, it's going to be HBK versus Triple H. I'm going to assume the storyline will follow the lines of the people getting Triple H that HBK is better. I can tell you right now, without any doubt in my mind, that Shawn Michaels and Triple H is not going to... Oh boy, here he comes.
I'm just going to confirm what you're saying, because since I follow Shawn Michaels at Shawn Michaels,
yeah.
He's done. He's happy on the ranch. He's not going to wrestle again, so that's pretty much done. So there's no point to it.
Yeah, Shawn has nothing to prove.
No.
Hunter has nothing to prove.
Not against Shawn anymore.
Hunter has nothing to prove against anybody. Hunter is a certifiable Hall of Famer for everything he's done. He beat Austin. He beat everybody except The Undertaker, and he beat The Undertaker at times too. Did he beat WrestleMania? No, he didn't. But you know what? Neither did Shawn Michaels. So neither one of those guys have anything left to prove. They're done. Hunter's doing just fine as the executive vice president, senior vice president of talent relations, and whatever he's doing, taking Johnny Ace's job. So I'm happy, and Hunter's happy. Okay. Ken Kendrick Freeman on my Facebook inbox. With so much riding on the AJ Punk and Bryan match at Money in the Bank last night, what do you see as the best way for the storyline to end and the worst? Who do you think will have the biggest... That's a bunch of questions. Okay. This is going to end at SummerSlam, I think. I think JJ was right in the fact that they're going to end this with some sort of Iron Man match or some sort of gimmick match where they're going to have to test their own limits. No more AJ involved in the match. It has to be just these two guys tearing it up at Staples Center. Toe-to-toe, pound for pound, who's the best in the world? Who do you think will have the biggest rivalry in TNA and WWE to end the year? For TNA, I say Roode and Aries, if done right. For WWE, I say Del Rio and Rhodes. Del Rio wins the... Well, he didn't win. For TNA, it's going to come down to the Bound for Glory Series winner against whoever's the champion. So, at the moment, it would be Samoa Joe and Austin Aries, which, my God, for Bound for Glory, how awesome would that be? And James Storm and Bobby Roode are going to have their thing at Bound for Glory as well. For WWE, it's going to be John Cena as a heel, I think. I talked about this earlier with him winning the briefcase and cashing in on The Rock, if that happens. John Cena and the WWE Champion, or John Cena's WWE Champion at the end, doing his thing against whoever is the #1 contender. Okay. More. Let's see. Alistair Kiefer, I was wondering if you or even JJ knows of any indie feds in the Bay Area I could watch, since I'm nowhere near NW Hollywood or any of the awesome ones you guys think are, if any ones you guys think are awesome. I'm referring to the Commandos, Derek and Dustin, because those guys live up there. I know Hood Slam's up there. I don't know if it's in the Bay Area. I know Hood Slam is up there. I just don't know where in NorCal it is. But Hood Slam's in the NorCal area. But go on Facebook, find the Suburban Commandos fan page, and ask them. They live in the Bay Area. They can tell you everything. Check them out. And if you happen to get them on Facebook, let them know how awesome they are, because they're my favorite indie tag team right now. There you go. Let's see. That one's already been answered because that match is over. Adam Buskirk. Do you ever see Cleveland as a city to host a future WrestleMania? I believe the Cleveland Brown Stadium is more than big enough to host the show of shows. I'm not sure if Cleveland is a high-profile enough city to get a WrestleMania. Cleveland has the Browns. Cleveland has the Indians. Cleveland has the Cavaliers. But are they a big enough high-profile city in the scope of the world landscape to warrant a WrestleMania taking? I don't think they are. I'm not from Cleveland. My dad's from Ohio. He's more from Cincinnati. So I don't know. I could be wrong on that. Miz will disagree with me for sure. But, you know, I just don't think they are. Another one from Adam. Since for both me and JJ, if JJ wants to answer. Since it's perfectly become apparent that the All-American Perfection, he used your name, Jay, has officially broken up, which person would it be logical to turn face? Ziggler or Swagger? At this point, I gotta go with neither. And I honestly think that Ziggler cashing in as a heel is going to be better. And Jack, I think Jack's time his days are numbered. And I hate to say that, but I think at this point, the future of Jack Swagger is in question with whatever they're doing and not doing with him. Would you agree with that, sir? He's working over there. He's actually hard to work on there doing stuff for you people. So I'm going to let him be and do his thing. All right. That's it for this week. I want to thank everybody for contributing to the show. I know it was a long one, so if I pissed anybody off, well, you know where to find me. Thank you all for watching. Again, Long Beach Cola Company, thank you for the flask. We'll see you guys next week on After the Bell.